Let's talk more about this with Labour County Councillor Mike Smith-Clare, who joins us. Mike, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me on your show.
What's your reaction to these proposals?
I think there's many reactions. I think the first thing to bear in mind is the fact that, I'm not just a county councillor, but I spent the last 26 plus years working with some of the most vulnerable people, young people that live in our county. And that has meant me coming into contact with a lot of children and young people that have gone through the foster care system. And I think the first thing that I've got to say is it's those foster carers that do an incredible job and have done an incredible job in supporting, in many cases, some of the most needy, vulnerable young people and helping them move into the future. So to hear of a transformation approach that basically, in many cases, undermines that framework of support and, as we heard in that last piece, almost gets to a stage where foster carers decide as to whether the profession is for them and whether they want to continue, something is seriously wrong.
Now, let's just focus on this level of need, because, as you mentioned there, anybody who's in foster care clearly does have a level of need, and it's interesting how you grade that, isn't it? Because we're hearing that the county council's new payment system will be based on the needs of the child they're caring for. Which just explain what you understand that to mean, because there'll be some people listening this morning who will think, well, yeah, if you're giving more money, more funds to support the children that you think are going to be the most challenging to look after, that makes sense.
I think the crazy thing when it comes to this is the fact that price tags have been so sort of inappropriately placed on real lives, on kids' lives. And I think, as we heard, and I think it was Simon that said it, and I think it was so appropriately said, that sometimes those complex needs that are maybe identified don't happen straight away. They're not identified straight away, but they present themselves once a relationship has been established. And I found time and time again talking, to some of these amazing foster carers, particularly during the last couple of weeks, that have provided support for those young people. Again, they've highlighted that those complex needs aren't always mentioned right at the start, but found when that relationship is built. And I'm sorry, but it's those relationships that are key. It's those young people's lives that are key. And to have that grade, that label put on a life, actually, those young people are more important. And I think, I've been humbled talking to foster carers who said, look, they're not in this for the money. They're in this to make a change to young lives. And without that change, my word, these young people are going to be in a worse position. And by no stretch of the imagination, again, has been pointed out, can a framework meet sometimes the needs. And Chris, I've been gobsmacked. I feel in many ways this has been a flawed consultation. Time and time again, foster carers have said that they haven't been appropriately contacted, spoken to. And I worry that, the council that hasn't, sadly, we've not had a cabinet member coming onto the show and talking about this, not substantiating and justifying this approach. And if that is the case, why can't they provide evidence that actually foster carers will be better off, particularly when one of your callers has said that they believe they're going to be, or 72% are going to be worse off? And more importantly, why can't the council and, again, the Cabinet Member for Children's Services assure us that there will be enough foster carers to meet the needs of Norfolk's young people once this transformation and strategy goes into action?
You're right to say that nobody from the Cabinet has been able to join us this morning, but they have sent us a statement saying that nobody under this plan needs to see a drop in their income. That they're saying, in fact, carers could end up earning more under the new system.
Yeah, but don't you find, Chris, that that's an anomaly? If they're unable to come and actually substantiate that idea with figures, because surely before you put forward a proposal and a strategy, you'd have a clear indication of what the actual figures are. And if we're getting foster carers turn around and believing and saying that statistically they feel 72% are going to be worse off, why isn't someone particularly the Cabinet Member for Children's Services, coming on and explaining not just a sense of we believe it's fairer, anyone can believe, substantiate this incredibly difficult decision that is going to impact so negatively on young people's lives, substantiate that with actual hard facts. I haven't seen them, and I find it incredible. County councillors are seen as being corporate parents. At the moment, it feels less corporate parenting and more corporate incompetence.
Can we talk about the financial realities of this? Because I know, and it's important to say, we've said it already, but to absolutely reiterate, nobody is suggesting here that foster carers get into it for the money. That's not the case.
No.
But how important is the money? What difference does it make to families if they do have the money they get from the council reduced?
Well, we know as parents ourselves, the cost of kids is amazing. It's exorbitant, and particularly at a time where the cost of living has increased. And again, talking to foster carers, this isn't about money coming in and being put in a bank. It's about giving those kids a life and an opportunity like all of us want to do for children, particularly the most vulnerable. So I've had foster carers tell and say that income that comes in goes on days out, goes on opportunities, goes on clothes, goes on all those things. And at a time, as I keep stressing, where so many of us are feeling that tightening of the belts because of the increase of cost of living, why should these kids go without? And that might be a case. If we've had so many foster carers turn around and say categorically that they're going to be worse off, it's not going to be them that suffer. They will leave the profession. Ultimately, it'll be the children that need their care. They will be the ones that suffer.
And that's an interesting point to finish with, isn't it? Because the county council must believe in what it's doing here, because that they will know that if this goes wrong, if there aren't enough foster carers in the system, if there are people that can't do it anymore, it will be the county council who will then still be responsible for those children. Will have to pick up the bill. So they must believe they're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, but they must believe. But there's lots of things I believe in. I could say I believe in fairies, but I can't substantiate that. Show us, particularly if it's going on March the 7th to Cabinet, show the councillors, show the foster carers the realities. Show the statistics, because if this transformation strategy, as I said, is being based on fact, why isn't someone on telling us these facts?